I don't know. Hey, what's up you guys, it's your boy Edwin, but you already knew that. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the most terrifying thing ever, which is sleep paralysis. I've honestly been wanting to film this video for a while now. I've just been so scared to talk about things like this because I normally don't like to talk about ghost stories because I don't know, especially when like I'm home alone and like I'm filming this video, like it freaks me out. But I feel like I need to talk about it because sleep paralysis is a crazy thing. I want to share my sleep paralysis experiences. So yeah, literally the freaking worst. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. Okay, let's get down to the real scary part of this video. If you guys are watching this video at nighttime, it might get a little scary, so I suggest like turning on one light or something. I don't know.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, so sleep paralysis. Let's talk about it. Sleep paralysis is super scary. Sleep paralysis is the scariest thing ever. So basically what sleep paralysis is, during awakening or falling asleep, a person is aware but unable to move or speak. One may feel, hear, or see things that are not there. Basically, you're like awake, but your body, like you can't move your body. It's like, it's so queer. It's so, what? It's so weird and like crazy, like, oh my god. At some point, I was literally having sleep paralysis like 5 to 4 times a week, and it was crazy. Like, it was just the worst month of my life. So basically, some of the theories that people have came up with why sleep paralysis exists. Some people usually say that it's like a demon or you have a ghost in the house. They like to like sit on your chest and like that's why you feel like you can't move. It freaks me out. And then some people just say it happens when you're like really tired and you've had like a busy day. So like your body falls asleep but your brain is still awake. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's so weird. We're gonna talk about a couple sleep paralysis that I've had. They're really scary. They freak me out still to this day, and every time I tell them to my friends, they never believe me. They're just like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe people experience this. And there's actually a movie, I think it's on Netflix, that talks about sleep paralysis and like all the crazy things that people see or experience. It's like crazy. Oh my god, I'm literally getting chills. I'm literally home alone right now and I'm like getting chills, and I kind of don't want to talk about it because like I believe in ghosts. So like the fact that I'm about to start talking about this like kind of freaks me out. Okay, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so we're gonna start with story number 1. So the first time I ever experienced sleep paralysis was a long time ago, and it was actually at a sleepover. I was sleeping over my cousin's house. So the first time it happened, I remember waking up. I realized that I couldn't breathe that well, and like I felt like something was wrong. Like I tried moving my arms and I couldn't move my arms, and I tried moving my legs and I couldn't move my legs. So then I was like, what's happening? And I started like freaking out a bit because when you wake up like that, you're like, whoa. And it's so crazy because you feel like you're awake. You're like, oh, I woke up. And then you're like, oh my god, I can't move any part of my body right now. Like, so then you start freaking out. So then the first time that happened, I was like kind of freaking out, and I started like breathing like faster, and I was like, I can't breathe and I can't move. And so the next thing that I decided to do was, okay, I need to like yell or scream. I tried screaming and it just felt like someone had their hand over my mouth and I just couldn't. Oh my god, the fan's been on this entire time. It felt like someone literally had their like hands over my mouth and I couldn't like scream, I couldn't talk. So all you literally heard was like if like someone literally was like kidnapping me. I started to like shake my body as much as I could to like make my bed shake. So then finally I finally like shook myself out of it, and I like woke myself up, and I came up and I was like breathing so hard, and I was just like shook and scared, and I've never experienced that before. So I was like freaking out, and I look over and like my cousin is still sleeping, and I was like, I was literally like screaming right now and shaking the bed, like I wonder why she didn't wake up. And I was just like, I don't know what the heck I just experienced, but I went straight back to bed after, you know, like 30 minutes, and I was fine. I woke up the next day and I was like, whoa. And I remember talking to my cousin and being like, hey, like, do you remember me like shaking the bed and like screaming like for you to like wake me up and stuff like that. And she literally was like, no. She literally didn't hear me like screaming or shaking the bed or anything. So then I started to freak out and I was like, you know what? Maybe it was just a dream. I was like, maybe I was having like a bad dream that seemed really real. I don't know. So then after that, it was a while before I had it again. But I remember the next time I did have it, it felt so real that I remember waking up, shaking myself out of it, that I remember going onto Google at like 3 in the morning, which when you Google stuff at 3 in the morning that has to do with sleeping and like, I don't know, like dreams and stuff like that, it like, you never know what's gonna pop out. So the first thing that popped out was like a scary demon, and like it was just like the theory that, you know, there's usually a demon in your house or in your room and it's like haunting you and stuff like that. So I remember being like, oh my god, like I was freaked. I did not sleep that night. But I looked up and then I found out that it was sleep paralysis. So then I like started looking more into it and reading more articles about it, and it started making more sense. So then I was like, oh my god, I guess this is what I'm experiencing. So then I started looking up like remedies and things I could do to like avoid having sleep paralysis. It literally said that you can't stop it. One of the things that it did tell me, when you are having sleep paralysis, stay calm and try to breathe. Don't fight back, because if you fight back, it'll be harder for you to wake up or move your body. So I was like, okay, well next time I have it, I'm gonna stay calm and not freak out, even though it's really hard to do, you know, to stay calm when you can't move your body, but it's just like one of those things you just have to like stay calm. This brings me to story number 2. This actually happened really recent. I want to say this happened last week. To be honest, it's been a while since I last had sleep paralysis. So I remember going to bed and I had just gotten done editing and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember lying in bed and it was so cold. It was like a really cold night. I remember getting my comforter and just like wrapping it around my neck like this, and like, I don't know, it was literally wrapped around my neck because I was so freaking cold. And I remember like falling asleep to the side. So then I woke up and I realized that I was having sleep paralysis. So then at this point, I already know, you know, I've had sleep paralysis so many times. So I was like, oh, you know, I'm having sleep paralysis. It's fine. Stay calm. You're gonna be fine. I'm over here like just trying to stay calm and just like taking deep breaths. And then I start feeling like my comforter is getting tighter around my neck. And I was like, oh my god, I don't think this is supposed to be happening. I feel like my comforter is literally like choking me. Like it feels like someone was right behind me with grabbing the comforter from the sides and pulling it up towards my neck. Oh, I just got the chills. It started getting really tight to the point where like I literally couldn't breathe. I literally thought I was gonna die. I was like, oh my god, this is it. Like, I'm gonna be one of those people that like dies in their sleep. And like the comforter was getting so tight, I felt like I literally couldn't breathe, and I was holding onto it and I was like just like trying to breathe. And I remember like yanking it off. I got up and I was like breathing so hard and I was like, oh my god. And I remember looking to the sides just to like see if there's anyone in my room, and I was like, there's no one here. So I remember like waking up and freaking out, and I was like, oh my god, like I could have died. And I like sat up right like immediately, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like I literally thought I was about to die that day, and I didn't even go to bed for like the next hour because I was just so shook and I was so scared because it felt so real. Like I remember just waking up and it just felt like a ghost or demon was literally like choking me with my own comforter, and I was so terrified. So that was the end of story number 2. That was one of the craziest ones. But now we're moving on to story number 3. Now story number 3, it has to be literally the scariest, most out of all of the sleep paralysis I've experienced, this is by far the most scariest and freakiest one that still like freaks me out, and it gives me the chills, and every time I tell it to people they never believe me. But it's just, I don't know, a sleep paralysis is crazy. So there was a time in my life where I was literally having sleep paralysis 4 to 5 times a week, and by that time I had gotten used to it, so I knew what to do. I needed to like remain calm and, you know, just the whole thing. So I remember waking up in the middle of the night kind of like feeling anxious and feeling like something wasn't good. So again, I realized that I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything. So I was like, okay, I'm having sleep paralysis. So at, this point I knew what to do. So sorry to interrupt, but something freaky happened when I was filming this video, like super freaky. And I'm kind of freaking out right now when I'm like, as I'm editing it, because I had my headphones in, and like when you have headphones in, like you can hear like the sound better. There was a knock on my door, and I was like in my room and my door was locked, and again I was home alone, so I remember hearing the knock. I was just kind of like, oh, maybe like someone's knocking upstairs or something, but now that I'm editing it, like it's freaky because it sounds like it's literally like coming outside of my room. And oh god, I'm kind of scared. Oh my god. Okay, but then again, then it happens again, which is when I like heard it for real. It's just, I'm gonna replay it for you guys. I'm literally freaking out. Oh my god. Okay. So this is when I actually heard the knock, and I like got up because I was like, oh, maybe someone's home. And I got up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna answer the door. So I got up, I answered the door, and no one was there. Oh my god, I'm literally freaking out. But hold on, just watch the clip. I'm not doing well. Oh my god. I'm shook right now, but let's get back to the story, okay? Okay, so back to the sleep paralysis story. So at this point, I could move my fingers, I can move my toes, so I'm like staying calm. I'm just laying in my bed. I'm laying like upwards, I'm facing the sky. All of a sudden, I start feeling this like levitation. Like I feel like I'm getting levitated. Like I'm floating from my bed. Like this is the bed, this is me. And like I'm literally floating up to the sky, and I just remember being like, oh my god, like what the freak is happening right now? Like I was freaking out, and I was like levitating, and I couldn't move, and I was like, oh my god, like what is happening? Like I'm literally getting abducted by aliens, like something crazy is happening, and I was freaking out even more. So then I started freaking out more. So then my sleep paralysis, like I was fighting it. I was getting paralyzed even more. So all of a sudden I'm like levitating or whatever. And I remember just like getting dropped back into my bed, and I like kind of like shook a little, and I was like, oh my god, like what, like I can't, I was just being levitated, like oh my god, like what is happening? Like there were so many things going through my head. Like that has never happened. Out of all the sleep paralysis I've ever had, that had never happened. And I was like freaking out, and I was like, oh my god, like I can't go back to bed, like I literally can't. So I thought I was awake. Apparently I wasn't. I was still experiencing sleep paralysis. So usually when I sleep, I like face the wall. So like this wall, I'm literally facing the wall because I don't like to stare at my closet or any like dark spaces, because I'm just so freaked out. From now on, I always sleep facing the wall. And I remember like facing the wall and like going back to bed. And I was laying there, and I remember something telling me like turn around and look the other way, like just look to the other side. And I was like, I don't want to look around, because if I look around, I know that I'm gonna see something, and like I'm gonna freak out. And something was just telling me like turn around. And then I finally did what I shouldn't have done, and I turned around. And guys, you guys are literally not gonna believe me, but I remember I turned around and I looked straight to my closet, and I remember seeing a silhouette, like a crazy silhouette, not like a person silhouette, but like a demon, like literally like a demon silhouette. And it was just staring at me, like literally red eyes staring at me, standing right in front of my closet, like watching me. And I started, oh my god, I'm literally getting chills. Oh my god. I literally like, I can't. Oh my god, that's literally like, I'm looking at my closet and it's freaking me out so much right now. Oh my god. So yeah, so I'm staring at this like silhouette, and I'm freaking out. So at this point, I start freaking out, and I go into immediate like sleep paralysis mode, like where my body just goes like I'm paralyzed and I can't move. So when I realized that I can't move, I noticed that the silhouette started like coming closer, and I was like, oh my god, like this is it. Like I cannot believe like this is happening to me. And I was like screaming. I thought I was screaming, but apparently I wasn't, because no one heard me scream at all. And the silhouette kept coming like closer and closer. So I decided to close my eyes. I shut my eyes and I was just kind of like there, and I was like kind of like saying a prayer. I was just like, oh my God, like if this is it, like, you know, I guess this is it. But like I was just freaking out, man. Like I was just panicking. And then I remember like opening my eyes and it was gone. It was completely gone. And I remember like immediately like shaking myself out of that, like that sleep paralysis. And I was like, oh my God. And I woke up and I got up and I like turned on all my lights, and I didn't go to bed that night. I literally turned on my TV and I was like, I am not going to bed. Like, absolutely not. I am going to sleep during the day. I am not experiencing that. I'm not experiencing that ever again. I was so freaked out, guys. Like, literally, I can't tell you. It's sleep paralysis is just one of those things that if you've never had it, be grateful that you've never had it. And if you do have it, like, it's some scary shit. Like, I'm telling you, it's so freaking scary. Like, oh, I remember like telling my mom about it. She told me to start praying before going to bed. I did. I started praying before because I just didn't want to have sleep paralysis anymore. And it went away. Like, you know, it went away except for like last week when I had it. But so I guess that just means I need to keep praying or start praying again. So my final thoughts, sleep paralysis is scary shit and I don't wish it on anybody. It's so rare to find people who have sleep paralysis. So when you do, you're just kind of like, oh my God, like, isn't it so crazy? Oh, and you know what's so crazy about sleep paralysis? It feels like it's literally like going on for hours, and then you like shake yourself awake from sleep paralysis and you look at the time and only like 3 to 5 minutes have gone by and you're like, oh my God, like it's crazy. It's some crazy stuff, man. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, and if you've had sleep paralysis, comment down below like your stories, because I want to know like everyone's different crazy sleep paralysis story. Love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye guys.